Now, what is that? See, advanced search will help us to combine different topics, or in this way, advanced search will help us to be very specific to the point. It would save our time. Okay, so how it saves our time? Now I know that Dr. Rajkumar Puya is an expert in the cloud computing. So what I would be requiring is his article. So I could just enter Rajkumar Puya name and go for the author. So if I'm looking for a content specifically from a journal or a magazine that's related with IoT, what I could do is I could just go ahead, enter the name of IoT, enter the name of IoT which is there, followed by you could make a selection of this publication title. Or, ORCID, like say Dr. Naveen Kumar or any of the people would have their ORCID IDs, a unique ID for the researcher, for the author. So you can go by their ORCID ID or other options. So advanced search is a place that saves your time and it allows you to be very specific. Now, coming back to the point of IoT, I would just like to limit that here. With respect to this, I can add much more, but given right now I'm just focusing only on IoT, so therefore I'm just leaving this with this option. And this advanced search, if you see here, it's been made view. It's viewed prominently. Now you have the time range as well. That's starting from 1870s to 2021. Okay, so let me leave it like that. Or if see, Mr. Srinivas, IoT is something that's we at least are hearing from last 5 years, 6 years more. Okay, but I'm just interested in 2 years. Definitely, you have the option to get around that. Okay, so I would like to bring all of your kind notice or kind attention to this part, what you're seeing here. So I did mention about this point that IEEE has variety of content and all that variety is here. Now, as a user, what is that you want? Are you looking for a journal article, conference article, magazine article, or a book chapter, or you want to do some course related to IoT in IEEE Expert, or you want to use the standard for some development? What is that? Okay, now let me tell you, these two are split very recently. The journals and magazines has been split and made as a separate tab. This is a recent enhancement. Why is it so? We have a journal for IoT, we have a magazine for IoT. At the student level, for somebody who wants to understand a basic basic and a simpler way, they could get that information from the magazines. Okay, so this has been recently split. Okay, now let me tell you one important point. I was telling to you all about, okay, institutions or the organizations would have the subscription of IEEE. So when I said subscription, all of you should understand, okay, it's that IEEE will be subscribed in different packages. Okay, so I'm not going to go in detail about the packages. IEEE has different packages depending upon the institution's requirement and their ability, they would subscribe that package. Now, how do you know as a user what is that your university, your institution, or your organization has subscribed? Now we have kept two options. Now, which are those two options? Number one, you could see here, what can I access? So this would give you a clear cut idea. So what all would be available for you to use from this IEEE Explore Digital Library? I know if subscribed by your university, that's the point number one. Maybe the chances are high that people might not go here to my settings, then they look here. That might not be, that might be slim. So recently, what they've done, they have included this section that's my subscribed content. Now, what exactly does happen here of my subscribed content? Okay, now under my subscribed content, when I click on it, it will let me know what are all the contents as a user of that organization would be able to download and use it. So therefore you could see here clearly all of these are green and open. So this is how you would understand when you okay, these are all the articles which I would be able to download from the overall content of IEEE. Okay, so now depending upon your subscription, you would have this my subscribed content, and then you would be able to download whatever is there. Okay, Mr. Srinivas, don't you think you deviated? You started saying addressing a research problem. You showed some example in the COVID-19, then came to IoT. You're talking about popular content. No, are we not going to address the problem? Okay, so there we are. Yes, so why did I come to IoT? The point here is let us let us consider one more simple and day-to-day example which many of us would have faced or would be facing. Okay, now what is that? Now, before I go to that problem, I want to tell you there's one option here. It's called as search within the search. What exactly is this? Okay, so overall content, what we are seeing is for IoT. Now, in IoT, I'm very specific that I want to use it for the articles or the articles to look related to your home automation. So here we go. This is a home automation. Now, with this option of search within the search, what happens there is, there you go. Out of those 50,000 articles, now here we are with 1,436 articles which are there for home automation with respect to IoT. All right, here we go. That's good. 1,436 is all yours. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So before I move on, I would just like to tell you, you have an option. 2019, we are then 2020. I mean, of course, the mid, not even mid 2020, we're in August 2020. Okay, so here we are seeing 2019. No worries. Why you have all these options? Okay, so if you want to get to the latest articles of IoT with respect to home automation, you could go ahead with this newest first option, followed by another choice. What's that? What's a popular article of this home automation? Okay, so before I talk about that, I would like to tell you about the problem statement. Now, what is the problem statement? The problem statement is it could be anything with respect to your water pump, to your microwave oven inside the house, or to the security, or all of that. Correct? Your artificial intelligence using and doing it. See this article, IoT based water tank level control system using PLC. Very common, very practical, real life example that they've considered, and they have tried. They have worked out something and telling to the world, okay, so this is the problem, and after identifying the problem, we are going to address how PLC. All right. So here is, and this is how any of them, once they identify, they could go ahead, and you can look for this section here, and what is the research method they have used, and how they've done it, design part of it, and is there anything for others to do further to it? What is that they have to do further? Of course, see, water level control is something old. Like, it's a very common thing. Even before IoT, there was that, a sensor which would automatically turn on and turn off. It's a very, it's an old thing. I mean, old tech. We cannot exactly term it as a technology earlier case, but right now they are connecting technology to that old method of that ball in the what in the overload tank. That ball shape was there, and that once it goes below that level or it touches the level, it's turn on, turn off. But now what is the much better thing that has been done right now with using IoT and PLC? So here you go. They've carried out the research. They've said PLC. Now, what others can do it further? Okay, so they are giving an idea. They're exactly mentioning this. This improvement can be used to cover a larger size grid of plants, such as water purification plants in large cities, utilizing IoT facilities, cloud, and fuzzy control monitoring. All right, so they're not so clearly mentioned what others can do further, how it can be enhanced. But then, no, the reason why I have considered this article, I have already said, a very common day-to-day example. They have tried to address this problem with a methodology, and they have, they have got the solution, and they're also saying it can be improved further. Now, what is the better way to identify whether you can further carry out the research, in what aspects of it? Okay, so now how do you find that out? In some of the articles, in the place of this results and analysis, you would find future research, okay, conclusions, and few research opportunities. So that would give you an idea, that would, okay, what is that improvement that you can do it further from that respective research. Okay, let me give you one specific example of an of some article, where you will know how do you identify that. Okay, so now I will just consider some article to show you how you can identify that you would be able to further carry out a research on the research which has already been done. Okay, so after that I will be touching upon some more articles. Okay, so here we go. This is the article. All right, now what is that I was telling to all of you? I was telling that, see, problem identification, solving, they have done. But what they are saying, okay, we have done something, but we are not claiming, and that's the end point of it. Okay, we have not put a full stop there. Okay, so what else can be done? And here you could see future research needs and conclusion. All right, so this is a clear cut picture. Anybody could read, understand, and take it further and say, okay, this is what my addition, this is what my contribution to this research which was done earlier. So that's how you could identify from these articles. Okay, so right now or till now, whatever we have done is from this IEEE Explore Digital Library platform. It's all about the global search box. It's all about in the COVID-19, knowing the problems. Then we came to the popular section. We went to IoT, and in IoT use the advanced search, and in the IoT again we came to the home automation part, using the search within the search options. All right, and then in that home automation and IoT, I was just showing you a live example as how you can address the problem. And after addressing a problem, once you other person have carried out the research, what you can do further, how can you identify that? That's what we have done till now. Okay, moving on, some interesting aspects I would just like to touch upon that. And to touch upon those interesting aspects, so I would be going to the your image processing category. Okay, now what are we going to see here? Okay, so as the results appear, I just want to know, is everything going on fine with all of you? Hope all of you are there with me. Is it going good?
Yes, sir, it's going good, sir.
Thank you for that. All right, okay, here we go. Image processing, we're back here. See, image processing is a large area. Again, as I was talking about IoT with respect to home automation, security, banking, internet, all of the things. When we talk about image processing, so image processing comes in the field. It is related to the field of agriculture. They're using it in the medical field. They're using in the defense. Then in all these areas, this image processing will be used, right? So if you want to take it, if you want to consider some image processing articles with respect to a particular area, like in a healthcare field, what I would do is, so I would just use this for cancer screening articles. So cancer screening with respect to image processing. Now here we go. Okay, somebody who are interested to carry out research in the medical, healthcare field in the area of image processing. That's how you find it out. And therefore, here we go. Automatic screening of cervical cancer cell images. So as I see this cervical cancer, it just comes to my mind that my mother was diagnosed with this cervical cancer, and of course, so unfortunately, 5 years ago, I lost my mother because of this cervical cancer. Now this, okay, now this we have identified topic, and inside of that, how do we connect? That is also has been seen. Now, why I have brought here is I want to show you all something with respect to the images, with respect to the equations that might be there in those articles. So recently in IEEE Explore, we have a new section for the images category. We have a new section for the formulae, all of that. Okay. Now, what do I these images coming to the student's perspective or the faculty perspective who would be presenting this, now they can use these images. Okay, so what can they do with these images? Or they can directly copy it, okay, to the PPTs. For example, now any figure, so you have to just click on that enlarged icon, so copy it, go to your PPT, and in your PPT, you could simply edit. So directly copying an image from the article of IEEE has been done recently, and therefore you can see this image is there right here in my PPT, which I've copied it from the article itself. Okay, so this is with respect to the images. Okay, so I would like to add on one more point here. That's this would be considered for the plagiarism when if you're writing a research article. What next? Okay, so what next is with respect to the equations that you could see over here. In this article, they have used simple equations, but in some of the cases, you would have the complicated equations, which would have the integrator symbols, differential equations, all of that. In such cases, square root, it will be so complex. So see, right now, there are mathematical tools which will help you to replicate that equation. But in IEEE, what has been done recently is you have something called as mathmal code. I'm just showing, this mathmal code has been recently added. Now, this mathmal code will help you to replicate this equation to your Word document very easily. Okay. So how do you do that? So just copy that equation, which I've already done. And as you paste it in your Word document, you have to just use this special paste option, go with the unformatted ways. And therefore, here you are. And if any of you counted the seconds, I'm sure it would have been less than 15 seconds itself. So the point here is, in this new platform, we have, specifically these points, whatever I'm mentioning with respect to the images, with respect to the equations, it would be very much helpful for the students who are preparing for their project works. All right. Yeah, faculty and researchers also can use, but yeah, they have to be a little careful when it comes to the plagiarism part, because it would be counted. Okay, so where are we going next? So I'm taking you all next to tell you about certain other features, some certain other tools which will be helpful for you. Now, what are those tools? Okay, so programming. When it comes to the programming, writing the codes either in MATLAB or Java or Python or C++, when you're doing a research, when you want an output, so you have to write codes. Now, writing codes would be little, not little, more difficult, at least for some people. Okay, I also fall into that category of difficulty level. Okay, so to address that, we have a new feature. Now, what is that? Okay, I'm going to show that to all of you right now. Okay, so here we go. We have for the image processing, I've just taken it that image processing again, and also would like to take you all through these filters that are there. I'm not going to explain in detail each one of them, but whatever important that I'm going to touch. All right, so image processing articles we have of more than a century. Okay, as I've already told, you have an option to narrow it down to the number of years that you require. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end this with of last 10 years is all that sufficient for me to look for. So therefore that is there. That's a period limiter which could be used, followed by we have many filters here. Okay, so out of that, what is this author? Author, these are the top 5 experts in this area of image processing. Any of you would like to read or read the articles related to your image processing? You could make a note of any of these author names and directly go to that author with the help of the global search box. See, if anybody is very much your interest area is wireless sensor networks, you can directly go to H. Vincent Poor. Anybody's research area is power electronics, directly go to Dr. Beam Singh, our own Dr. Beam Singh. He features in the top 5 across the world when it comes to power electronics. All right, so this will help you to identify the top 5 experts in that area. Coming to the affiliation, so I would like to quickly mention 3 points here. Now, what is that? So, in the beginning of my presentation, I showed you a slide where I was talking about for higher studies, your placement, your other things. Now, which is that this is the filter which will help you to know more about higher studies. Now, in what way? Here, this will let you know which are the universities, which are the departments where there is an exclusive department, there's an exclusive field where you could research on in these universities. That's how it is considered as your for higher studies. So it will let you know what are the universities and departments across the world. And how else this affiliation would be helpful? I was telling you all about your placement. Now look here, Samsung R&D, or you have for internship also you would get some information from this place. Your placement, your internship, your higher studies, your authorship for the faculty and researchers, you would get an idea from these places. Okay, so that's how the affiliation would be helpful. It will let you know about companies like GE. You would come to know about DRDO, ISRO, all these things you will come to know from affiliation. So affiliation is for placement, internship, your higher studies, and also for the collaboration for those who look for the articles writing. Very important is this. I just selected image processing, but I've not been so choosy. I mean, in image processing, what exactly is that I'm looking at? So this journal here, it would let us know what are the top 5 journals or magazines related to my keyword. Now it helps me to know which is the journal that I can rely on. Now I've got to know, see, especially if I'm doing some research on medical healthcare. So healthcare related, I can make a note of it. IEEE transactions on medical imaging. Next time onwards, I will directly go where? I'll go to browse, I'll click on journals and magazines, and therefore I will enter my transactions on image processing, and that's how I can go directly to that place. All right. So publication title will help anybody to understand or come to know what is a specific journal or a magazine which is available for a certain area, and that's how it would be helpful here. Then here comes something important for all of you to know, something new for me to explain. And I was telling you all about the programming. Now, what is that? See, recently we have added some programming, I mean, some codes which are ready-made codes, which many researchers have used those codes for their research work. Now they have given it out for the society on a voluntary basis. Now look here, all these articles that we are seeing right here have these codes. And now these codes have been written using different programming languages. It may be MATLAB, it may be Python, it may be Java, it may be Octavia, it may be R. Okay. So I'm just going to show you a quick example of that. Let us consider this article of your variational osmosis for nonlinear image fusion. Let's consider this. My idea is to let you know about the code. I'm saying it's a reproducible code, or you can modify this code. Okay, so let us see in which programming language this code has been written. So as it appears, I would like to tell you, yes, it's a modifiable code, but the only thing that you need to take care of is you need to create your account in CodeOcean. Why? Because this code that we're going to see, we would get it. Okay, please remember this mathematical equations will be more helpful for mathematical code will be more helpful for such equations where you could see a lot of complex symbols are there. Okay, now uh, let let me just go to the end of this where your codes would be where your code would be available. And for the faculty, for all those for the other people, data sets are also available. Okay, so this particular code is written in MATLAB. All right, so it would be useful for especially for EC electronics communication and electrical students. Okay, so here we go. This is what I was saying. I request all of you kind attention here at this place, because I would like to tell you how this would be useful for all of you. So there are 4 points here that all of you should understand. You can rerun this code to understand why this author has written, and after you rerun, you will come to know that. Moreover, you have the output here. I mean, it's output is present here. Let me just show you. So here is the output for you for this code that's also available. And to make it your code, you have to just click on the edit capsule. And once you click on the edit capsule, it will take you to a place. Okay, let me just click and show it to you. It would ask you to create your CodeOcean account, sign up, and it's free account. Once you create your CodeOcean account, it would allow you to edit any code. And not just that, see, many times there might not be the softwares installed in your laptop or desktop. So what you have are the options of these live interactive platforms are here. So even though you don't have that software, you can run this code here in this live interactive platform. So please explore this codes part as well. By the way, where is the code? You said MATLAB. Where is the MATLAB? Now when you click on files, as you go into the code, so you could see all these codes are available here, and this is what would be this is what you can modify it. The codes that could be modified are here. Okay, now if I want to edit it, you have to remember one thing, that is you need to have a CodeOcean account. You have to log in to the CodeOcean account, and after that it will become into an editable format. Okay, so this is also done. What next, Mr. Srinivas? I'm going to take you all to advanced search once again. Now, in advanced search, what are you going to show? So just wait. You are going to see what would be there in the advanced search. So here are all these figures once again, where you can use it for your, you can directly copy it for your PPT. Mr. Srinivas, you're talking all of this, okay, but you did not tell us how do you identify the popular article? How do you identify how do you identify the most used articles? So tell us that. Okay, you showed some articles saying this people have done some research here. That was okay, but how do we come to know which is the most popular or which is the most downloaded articles from this area of image processing? That's what we are interested in. That's what we should know. Okay. All right. So after that, I would go to the advanced search. Okay. So let me remove this code also. In the last 11 years, considering the last 11 years that I filtered out, and now when people are looking or interested only to know what are the most downloaded articles in last 11 years coming to the image processing. Now you could click on most popular come to know which are the most downloaded articles in last 11 years. So it says this is the most downloaded article in last 11 years. If you want to know what are the top, I mean, which are the top 10 articles in terms of citations, you could use that option of most cited by, so that you would have definitely have an idea. Okay, look at this, going deeper with convolutions, 9071 times it's been cited. So this is the highly cited paper. I want to tell you this again, all of you, that we have provided an option that any user can download the top 10 articles in one go. Okay, when I say one go, it's 3 clicks basically. Okay, so now what is that? Okay, here are your top 10 articles. Click on select all on page. Click on download PDFs. All of your top 10 are selected. With a click on download, now all of my top 10 I can download in just 3 simple clicks. All right. Or if you would like to export this to any of your citations format, okay, that also you could do it. And if you want to export it to a folder of yours individually, you want to store it, you like this, so then collaborative also is here. So all these options are also there for you. Okay, so before I move on to advanced search, I would like to highlight some of the things when it comes to some respective articles. Now, I showed you how you can download the top 10 articles in just 3 simple clicks. Now, let me also show you how you can give the citation of any article in 2 simple clicks. How do you do that? Okay, so as we already know, this has the highest number of citations. So I will click on cite this. And now I have different formats in which I could select whatever is required by me, whether it's BibTeX or RIS or RefWorks. So I would select accordingly, and then I would just copy it or BibText. So you can, for your citation becomes very easy with just 2 clicks, copy it and you paste it. Okay, 2 simple clicks, one, and which is your required format, select that. And if you want abstract along with that, so here is an option again. So these 2 points are there. And then you can download this PDF in just 1 click of it. Okay, so 2 click citations, 1 click download, and that's how these are the new things what's been added. And moreover, all these icons, I'm sure some of all of you are familiar about the emailing this article, copyright permission you have to take in cases if you're going to use this for a commercial purpose. And Collaboratech is nothing but it's a connecting platform. It's a connecting platform for the like-minded individuals. Okay, so where you can discuss, where you can write articles by connecting on that platform of Collaboratech. Setting an alerts for this article. So we all know that this article has already been cited highly. So if you want to know more how to how much in like how many more citations it would get, you can use this option of alert. Okay, so before I move to the advanced search, I would just like to tell you about something. So what is that? We have something called as alt metric, which captures if your article, if this article gets shared through Twitter, through Facebook, or any of the social media, then it would be captured in the alt metric. So you can see that in the metrics, it would also let you know how popular would be your article. So here you go. This is the total number of total number of downloads it has, and it has been shared through these different sources, followed by here is your alt metric, which is captured, which says this article has been shared in Twitter twice, and these are the alt metric to capture or to know the popularity of your article through the social media as well. Okay, so before I move on to the advanced search, again, I would like to hear something from you all, from participants. So I would request you to please put out your thoughts coming to this point of more like this section. Okay, so we're about to close this session, maybe in next 7 to 8 minutes. All right. So before that, I want all of you to tell me something about this more like this section. I want to know, what do you understand, what comes to your mind when you see this more like this? Please use the chat box. question is very simple. What do you understand, or what do you think this section is for? How you just have to tell that. So we're going to spend again 60 seconds here. What comes to your mind when you see this section, or what do you, I mean, how it would be useful? What do you think? So chat box is waiting for your messages. It gives a summary of paper. Okay, so we've got one message who says that it gives a summary of paper. Good try. Thank you for your message. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? 30 more seconds. More like this. What this section might be about. Go ahead, share your thoughts.
Srinivas sir, sorry for the interruption.
Yes, sir.
Till the next session begins at 11:45.
Okay.
So you have a buffer 15 to 20 minutes. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so it looks like people do not want to give some. Okay, so there is a message from Ms. Shruti who says, easily get articles related to our topic. That's good. Fine. So your message is close to what I was expecting. That's good. Yes. All right. Now, where this, I mean, in which case this would be useful? People who are doing your literature survey at that point of time, as Ms. Shruti said, if you would like to have collect articles collectively related to your topic from one place, yes, and that place is your more like this section. What it means, all these are all the articles which are already published, which are similar to this article, either in terms of the concept or in terms of the keywords. All right. And this more like this section will help you to get the similar articles in a lesser time possible. So whenever you're doing your literature search, so this section would be helpful to you. All right. Now, as I've said earlier, so next I would be moving on to the advanced search. Okay, so we said IEEE, advancing technology for humanity, and advanced search is there. So in the beginning itself, I briefly told about advanced search, so I'm not going to explain much detail, but still I would like to tell you something about this. Okay, so we keep talking about cloud computing, right? Now, cloud computing projects, or what does this organization do? Okay, cloud computing, what projects does IBM do with respect to cloud computing? If you want to know, it's required to know, right? So advanced search with the help of author affiliations, if you want to understand what this particular company is doing, what Samsung is doing into wireless sensor networks. Okay, so you can use this author affiliation. So therefore, here we go. You can see here there are 1,191 articles which are affiliated with IBM related to cloud computing. So therefore, you can understand what, I mean, cloud computing in what way, in what projects this IBM uses. Okay, that's the idea of showing you all how author affiliation can be used through the advanced search. So this you can use it for GE, IBM, Samsung, Infosys, Wipro, Dell, Google, all of those companies. All right, what next? Okay, I'm not too sure how many of you have tried this command search before. See, this command search can be used in certain cases, okay, with certain conditions also. Now, advanced search, we are familiar. Now, what is this command search? See, command search would help you in a way. In what way does that help you? Autonomous vehicles, and I am looking for sensors and autonomous vehicles together. So therefore, I'm going to use this command search. What exactly does this command search means? So let me explain that through the results. Nowadays, I mean, last, I think a month or 45 days ago, I attended one of these sessions. So in that session, the speaker was telling now manufacturing a car is not related merely with the mechanical. In the future or right now itself, it is more with the electronics, it's more with the coding, it's more with the it's related with electrical, it's related with your computers, it's related with electronics. So that's how the manufacturing of the car is going to turn around. So yes, talking about autonomous vehicles and sensors, and I told you command search. No, what exactly is that? See, I can use command search whenever I'm looking for these two words, that sensors and autonomous vehicles. I want to have it in the same article of these two aspects at a certain distance. Then this command search will be helpful. So here, this is a clear example that conceptual sensors testing framework for autonomous vehicles. What I wanted, autonomous vehicles and sensors in the same article with a certain distance, and therefore I use the command search, and here we see the results. Okay, so this is how you can use development and application of sensor network for autonomous vehicles. This is how the command search will be useful. Okay, so now this is also done. Okay, what next? We are going to, okay, automatic sensor correction of autonomous vehicles by human vehicle teaching and learning. All right, so this is how the command search will be helpful. So please explore if you're interested, if you're more interested. All right. Now, journals and magazines, sign in, courses, and with that, I'm going to end the session. All right. Okay. So IEEE, Mr. Srinivas, in the beginning, in the slides you showed, oh, IEEE #1 journals or so many. These from this topic, you have the most impactful journals. All you were talking about. Where are this? Where are those? Okay. Here I come. Go to browse whenever you are looking for a specific journal, which I've already explained. Okay, now I want to find a journal related to, say, something with respect to power generation. Or so what I do is, if I know the name of a journal, as in the case of IEEE transactions and image processing, I directly enter that, so I go there. That's okay. If not, if I'm not too sure about the name of a journal, so I can still enter the topic. So with that, we would go to those journals or magazines related to power. Okay, now with power, there are 24 journals or magazines. Now, what is that I was looking for? I said power generation, correct? So when I said power generation, now I could relate it with transactions on energy conversion, or I could also look at, say, Journal of Power and Energy Systems. Now, let me get inside of a specific journal, okay, which is related. Here I go. IET renewable power generation, something very specific to what I was looking for. Now, let me go inside of this. I have something interesting to show to all of you. Now, what is that? Journal of Emerging and Selected Topics in Power Electronics. Let me consider this journal. And I am going to touch something about authorship here. I mean, which Dr. Naveen Kumar would be talking about in a little while. All right. So this is a journal. I mean, here comes your Journal of Emerging and Selected Topics in Power Electronics. I would request your kind attention again in four places here. What are those? When somebody is preparing for the presentations, conferences, seminars, so this tab would be very much useful, because what are the popular articles that's been downloaded from this article, from this journal, you could come to know. followed by if somebody who is doing a literature search or gathering the information from a particular journal, particular issue, particular year, they can use this tab. And something interesting is here, I would just mention to you in a little while, and about journals, what we are talking about. And how do we get to know the standard or the quality of a respective journal with the impact factor? All right. If Clarivate Analytics has told IEEE has got so many high impact journals is because of this number of calculation. All right. Okay. So now what I was telling to you, current issue, there's something interesting. Now, what is that? In the current issue, you have an option, and that option will allow you to download the entire articles from that issue. So I hope all of you can see this option, get entire issue now, which means that with a click on it, I would have all these 101 articles downloaded in the form of a PDF, and that's the newest option what is available to save here. Okay. Lastly, something interesting to talk about the authorship is this. Somebody who has already written an article, if you would like to send it to this journal, your first thing, your primary thing is to understand what topics do they accept. So that information you would get it here, followed by you can submit your manuscript, and then here I go, author center. We have a newly revamped author center which will help you to understand about writing, which will help you to understand about the peer reviewing process, which will help you to understand where you can publish your articles. All right, so here you go. I think Dr. Naveen Kumar would be talking on much of these aspects of this. If somebody is so specific to publish an article in IEEE, now here you go, the video tutorials will be more helpful for you because some of the experts have delivered a lecture. Okay, so that also you could use it for your reference. Now I'm just going to talk about this author tools here. Now, under author tools, there are many options that you can use, okay? But right now, what's important for me, as I was telling to all of you, that we started this session by addressing, addressing a research problem. Okay, we have come to a step where I have identified, where I have addressed, where I've done the research, where I have already prepared a research article also. But now, where do I send that article to? In which journal am I going to publish that? So therefore, here I go. This is the place, a publication recommender, and this abstract recommender was newly added. All of you who have experience with Elsevier journals, you might have used that there also, right? Now, but this was added very recently in IEEE Explore. Okay, now what is it? What it means? Okay, see, for example, uh, I have just written an article, something related to wearable devices, related with the healthcare that people wear on the, wear it on their wrist. They do walking to count the number of steps, to the heartbeats, to all of that. So I have written an article with this topic, wearable devices. Now, I would like to know, when I've written an article for this topic, where I can send this article to. So this publication recommender is telling me, Mr. Srinivas, you can send this article on the topic of wearable devices to these journals and magazines. And for some of the journals, you need to pay, Mr. Srinivas. And for some journal, like, for this magazine, Pervasive Computer magazine, you need not pay if your article gets selected, but all others, you have to pay. And what is the standard of the journal or a magazine to which you're sending your article? And that you could see it here with the impact factor that's given. All right, so highest the impact factor, better would be the quality, and for how long you have to wait, and that is also provided here. Not just the journals and magazines, you also have the conferences information. So if you would like to take part in the conference of next year 2021, and which is going to happen in San Francisco, you have all the details right here in the publication recommender when you have to send the abstract, and all of that would be is there available to you. And that's the specialty of your publication recommender. All right, and with this is the last topic from my side. And lastly, before I go on to the help section, I want to tell you about the alerts part. Give me 30 seconds. I will connect the charger, otherwise it will put me off. Okay, so last two things from my side are creating an account. Now, what does this creating an account means? See, I understand some of you may be members of IEEE, senior members of IEEE, or student branch members. Okay. Now, when you belong to any of this category, if you are a student branch member, or if you have a membership of IEEE, if you're a fellow, you need not do anything with respect to this. You can simply click on personal sign in and then come inside of this. Now, how does it, how, in what way will this help? See, please understand this personal sign in will help you in specific cases when to set the alerts. See, all the participants would have some different topics in the mind what they are interested in. See, Mr. Srinivas told something on image processing, then told about IoT, then told about autonomous vehicles. All that is fine, but you as an individual would be doing on a certain area, right? So whenever you want to receive the notifications on your favorite topics, then this personal sign in will be helpful. Why? Because it will help you to get the alerts or the notifications. Now, as you talk about the notifications, let me just see if there is something handy on my desktop so that I can tell you, or I can just show you at least that how what all notifications you would get. Okay, so I'm just trying to find that out. So if I can find it in few seconds, maybe I would get it. Basically, the point here is you can get the notifications for the journal articles, for the magazines that you like, for the and also the courses that you're going to take, and also for the collaboratech that's required. So that's how it would be useful. Your personal sign-in would be required for that. Okay, so I'm just seeing if something is there on my desktop. Okay, if it is not there, I'm just going to come back in 10 to 10 seconds. Okay, so I just wanted to show you about the part. So that's it, nothing more than that. Okay, so let me come back as I'm unable to find that on my desktops. Okay, so let me, as I don't have it, so I'm just told orally, so please go ahead with that. Okay, so setting alerts, let me show you through this slide itself. Okay, yes, we are back here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, the fourth industrial revolution, which IEEE is fueling. All right, this is the alerts part. So this cloud computing, you can set an alert so you would receive the notifications like this, followed by if you like a journal or an issue. So you would, this is just an example of one more of that category. Citations alert is what I've just mentioned during this session, and this is what the overall content of IEEE which is available to you. Okay, so before I show this, yeah, in the platform itself, I have okay, these courses, 500 odd courses are available in IEEE. If any of you are interested, you can take up these courses, and these courses range from various fields, from something related with the electronics. You have the categories, so depending upon your interest, so you could take up any of these courses. Now when I'm talking about these courses, so these courses are paid courses. So once, I mean, of course, the paid courses, you there is a modules, and it's a 3-hour course that you can do it. Once you do it, you would be getting a certificate for doing this course, e-certificate from IEEE, once you clear that test after you take up a complete 3 hours. So this course is also there for you. Okay, lastly, I just want to tell you, whenever you're looking for an author, so you would be able to get the uh, you would be able to get the profile of that author. If you want to invite this person as a I mean this person as an expert to deliver a lecture, so you could enter the author name, and we have something called as author profile beta version, through which you can see read that author's biography, and that's what I'm just trying to show it here. So lastly, there's a help section. I'll just show that and keep your questions ready for that. Okay, so I'm almost done here. Just the help section is what I'm supposed to show to all of you. If you have any questions, keep them or mention them in the Q&A section. Okay, so here we go. Professor Venugopal sir, or Dr. Venugopal sir, who's currently the Vice Chancellor of Bangalore University. If you want to invite him to any of the talks, so before you invite him, you can you can understand what is his expertise, in which all areas that he can deliver the lecture. Very interesting personality, though. Why interesting personality? If you have time, you can just go through it, because it's interesting, so you can go through, right? So you can follow this author, and these are all his areas of expertise, so you can invite him to deliver a talk on any of these topics whenever you are arranging any of the sessions. So this is how you identify the author and also go through their biography, and then this would help you to invite them further. Lastly, the help section is here, your resources and help. And in this resources and help, we have some sections which would be helpful, like that of your videos. Okay, so you can click on videos and training. And as you click on videos and training, you can see video tutorials, which means these are the YouTube videos on which you can watch various features. Okay, so I have concentrated only on those new features which are added. But before that, also there are certain features. So if you want to know about them, you can watch these videos. Followed by, you have some soft copy guides to use some of the features, or to know about some features. Followed by, if any of you individually would like to attend any of the online webinars which are conducted by IEEE, you could register yourself, and whenever these online sessions are happening, live online sessions from our USA team, so you would come to know about it, and you would be invited for that live online session. So this happens from our USA office itself. So that's about your help section, and that's about your publication recommender. And yes, it's time. My ears and my eyes are open for your questions. So go ahead. Mr. M.S. Srinivas has done with his work. Yeah, so I'm ready to take your questions. So please put that in the Q&A box. So if you have any questions, I think, so please let me know. So as you do that, fast summary of whatever that I have said, and the time that you spent in knowing these things. Okay. So the summary of this session goes like this. We started off with a brief PPT information, then came to the live platform, told you how to showed you how to log in. And then about the global search box, where you specifically can look for an author, specifically look for a conference, then followed by the COVID-19 articles, the problem. I mean, there we just started with the problem statement and what is being done, and then moved on to the popular content, then with the IoT, and then with the home automation, and then with the figures, images, the codes, then the advanced search, and your image processing and cancer screening search within the option, and then your command search, then the journals and publications, then the courses, and then the help section, and
Hello.
right, we are here. Yes.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೂರಿಸಿ.
So any questions, please?
I think participants have no queries. Your presentations are very nice and wonderful explanation.
Okay, fine. All right. No problem. So I'm sharing my email ID with all of you. So please make a note of it in case if you do not have any questions right now. No, not a problem at all. You can write a mail to me that. Okay, so there is a question by Ms. Shruti is asking if is it possible to get notifications about training or any conferences directly to our email by IEEE Explore. Yeah, you have the option for that. But the only thing is that, yes, so you can go to this last section. Okay, this time. So you can set the alerts for this conferences. Okay, yes, you can set the alerts for the conferences that would happen in the future. Okay, so let me show my email ID. So it's msrinivasa@ebsco.com is my email ID. Later also, if whenever you want to know something, want to ask me related with IEEE Explore Digital Library, so please send in your mail to this mail ID. And there is a small formality that I would request from all of you to do is, of course, you would get a feedback link from KSTA. There is one local means for us. I mean, for IEEE, there is one feedback link that we have. So I'm just posting that in the chat box. So I request all of you to please give your valuable feedback here through this link tinyurl.com/IEEE training evaluation. So this feedback is just exclusively for my session that I've done on IEEE Explore Digital Library, and this goes to USA headquarters. So please give your valuable and honest feedback. There would be ratings in it, and 5 is the highest. And IEEE, what is the product of the session? You have to just select IEEE Export. That's it. Okay, I'm sure that KSTA also will give you one more link that is overalls, but this is the link exclusively for my session on IEEE. Okay, so with this, I'm just stopping